6 of the, is it 5 or 6? Because then you've already gotten public money and maybe you refunded it to the county government.
So that doesn't exonerate them from the criminal case. We only went for the recovery so that the public doesn't lose everything. And that is the process we do. In all these cases that are where the DPP goes for withdrawal, we go for civil recovery so that the public doesn't lose their money.
Chair, can I say this? Chair, I think you have not answered my question, CEO, where I asked at what level do you withdraw cases? Because I believe once the file is handed over to you by your officers who are doing investigations, you look at the file and analyze the file and ensure that who should be prosecuted and who should not be prosecuted. In this case, the case progressed, and one person, I don't know whatever method is used, as Senator Wambua says, has been dropped. Why do you go full length and then remove one person and proceed with others? You see, that is the question I really wanted to you to answer and understand, because I don't want to cast aspersion on you or maybe on the individuals who have done this particular case. There must be something that happened somewhere, which I don't want you to disclose. But my concern is, you analyze the case and you say this is a watertight case that should proceed for prosecution. Why would this one be dropped at a later date? I thank you.
So, Chair, let's remember it is not EACC that drops the cases. EACC prepares the file, forwards a report together with the file and all the evidence to the Director of Public Prosecution. The Director of Public Prosecution reads the file and concurs that there is an offense and people are charged. As the case goes on, the DPP has the powers to either withdraw or not to withdraw from all the suspects and from some of the suspects. So that is not the mandate of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And really we can't talk about it because were it our wish, of course the case would have gone to conclusion.
Chair, you know, we said we are here to help each other. We are all partners. I want you to be candid. Is there a problem in the way prosecutions are being handled? Nobody can answer that question other than EACC.
Yes, Chair.
We don't want to go by what we see in the newspapers. We want to hear it from the OC's mouth.
In addition, Chair,
Senator Dula, yes.
This is your case. My question is, yes, they have powers to withdraw. Like in this particular case, do you just let it go like DPP withdrawing your cases without even consulting you? Yeah? Does it really make sense? Because you are the investigators. They are the prosecutors. You are the ones who know who committed the offense and who has not committed. So do you just sit there and say, let DPP prosecute whoever they want to prosecute and agree with them, or whether they will consult you or not?
Bishop, I think, okay.
Yeah, just to ride on what Senator Dula said.
All right.
Is as in, I have seen in your, let's just go back. You have said on most of these cases you are not consulted. What do you mean by not consulted? Because if we talk about bad blood and concurrence, maybe you might misinterpret that you are not working. I know these agencies are created by courts. So as Senator Dula said, by the time a matter is being withdrawn by EACC, and I saw it was live on the Obado case, and I saw one of your lawyers stood and objected that they had not been consulted, which is good because we don't, at the end of the day, apart from punishing the criminal element, we also recover our resources as Kenyans. But my concern, as Senator Dula said, at what level if today DPP goes to anti-corruption court in Florida House and they have a case, will they inform your officers that today we are going to withdraw XYZ case? Or does your EACC lawyers go there and do watch brief, listen and then report back? I think that is what we are asking all of us.
Yeah, I think the chair was asking for Mike, or CEO maybe can go first before the chair. Just decide.
Senator had mentioned, it is true, our lawyers actually watch brief. And remember, we are the ones who produce the witnesses and the evidence. We are the ones who actually come to give testimony in court, especially the investigating officer being the last person to testify. But in major cases, we have our lawyers who sit through. And in many cases, when the DPP makes that application, in many cases, our lawyers oppose. And it is in court record. But we have no control because the Constitution has given those powers to the DPP. He can do whatever he wants with a criminal case, as long as the court agrees. And in many cases, even where the court doesn't agree with the DPP, if the prosecutor doesn't prosecute, what can the court do really? The court will basically do nothing. So it is a fact. Our lawyers sit through, but the decent thing would be, as the investigators who have the facts, when a matter is being withdrawn, that there is that courtesy to ask the investigator, look, we are withdrawing this thing because there is a problem with this case. Maybe the evidence doesn't lead to a conviction. Maybe there is something that misses here. But when the investigator is not consulted on any of these issues, and your hands are tied because we are talking about a constitutional mandate of an individual who can either charge, withdraw, even where the court says proceed, because we've seen instances where the court says you cannot withdraw, proceed, and the prosecutor doesn't prosecute. What can you do? What can the court do? What can the investigator do? Basically, you can't do anything.
Mr. Chairman, just say what you wanted to say.
Thank you. Just wanted, first of all, to respond to Senator Wambua's 3 men thrown in the fire and a 4th one appeared. And in this case, 6 men were thrown in the fire and a 7th one appeared. If you check on our report there, it says 6 members of Makueni County Assembly and other county assembly. So there were more than, it is the 6 are the county assembly members, but there were others. So that's where the 7th man in the fire came from. Thank you.
Maybe another question for me would be,
yes,
the withdrawal of the 7th accused person,
yes,
or of the case against the 7th accused person, was because of insufficient evidence. But we are told here that the matter was withdrawn entirely on 12 February 2024.
1 year down.
1 year later.
At what stage and how many people had testified by the time a decision was made to withdraw?
Chair, it is indicated that no witness had testified in your report. Is it
yes,
true? Okay.
yes, in column 2.
So what occasioned the withdrawal of the entire case? Is it because they were surcharged, the officers were surcharged, or what was the reason given for that? Because the public want to know. They know that there are assembly members who are charged and the reasons why the case was withdrawn.
But Chair, to be fair to EACC, let me play the devil's advocate. They have, they are saying they have not been consulted. So I doubt if they will know the reason why the matter was withdrawn.
So are you saying this is a case we ask ODPP?
Yeah, this is the case for ODPP because they have indicated in the EACC action that they were never consulted. So I doubt if they know the reason why it was
answering for them and they are here.
No, I'm saying, I'm reading from their own document.
Why do you want to think
I said I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Why do you want to think that they are here?
No, I'm saying from their report they are saying they was not consulted. So I doubt if they have a reason as to why the matter was withdrawn.
Okay, Senator Dulo.
Chair, CEO is consulting, but I wanted to wrap up on this. from the deliberation and discussions we have, it's like EACC is toothless. Number two, since taxpayers' money has been used to investigate these cases, at some stage you end up losing those cases. Yeah? And we are here to learn from each other and see how we can seal those gaps to ensure that your investigations and the files forwarded to DPP are intact. What do you propose as EACC? Whether amendment of your legislation or policy change? What is your recommendation to actually seal that loophole where you refer the cases, they are withdrawn without your consultation, you are rendered, I don't want to say useless, but toothless. Thank you.
Chair, are you the one who's answering that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's related to the matter that was raised by Honorable Mugeni. And he's saying that we need to be candid. Some of you may have listened to me speak on various fora where public have raised this kind of an issue. Just this last week, we were in a forum that was organized by Eacc, an open forum, and this question came up. Now, when we were asked why cases don't move the way they should move, and where public are concerned that they are not seeing the results of the work that we do, and public resources are being utilized. One of the things I've mentioned severally is that our legal framework, the way it is designed now, and that's what Honorable Mugeni was referring to, is such that it would appear that it is for the accused persons or the suspects rather than to fight corruption. So you find that the threshold that is placed is so high, even to prove a case. But even after we have done our work to the best of our ability, and our processes are quite rigorous, I would say, as a person who has been in the Commission for just over 2 years, coming from the outside where I was among those people who are complaining against corruption, and now coming inside there, I can tell you for a fact that our teams work very hard. The process for a case to be taken from the point of a reporting, whether by a whistleblower, by AG, by Parliament, to the point where we take it to the office of the DPP for prosecution, is a very rigorous process. It is not foolproof, but it's a rigorous process. So when we see cases then go sometimes to the point of getting to court, and then it doesn't succeed, it is not something that we are happy about. And sometimes our own investigators, our teams are very discouraged when they see their work not bearing fruit, because nobody wants to work without fruit. And so there needs to be something that needs to be done to ensure that the work that is done by our teams and the resources, because some of this, especially in big corruption, a lot of money is spent in the investigative process. Some of them go across borders, and our teams have to go to other countries to collect evidence, and even the ones that are local. So you find that we spend quite a significant amount of money to investigate a case. And when it doesn't come through, it is a discouragement, but it is also a loss of resources, as Honorable Senator Dulo has pointed out. So if there's something that Parliament can do, and by Parliament I mean both the National Assembly and the Senate, to rectify that situation, so that, like, Kenyans would want to see the fight against corruption actually be a true fight against corruption. It is not at that level yet. So I would leave it to
No, you can't leave it. You can't leave it because
Because your
you can't leave it because yes. This is a house of making laws, and so
Yes.
we're in the right place. Say that thing.
Chair, we have said before that it would be good for us if we take our cases all the way through to court. Civil cases, as has been mentioned by the CEO, the law allows us to take our cases all the way through. And if you look at our rate of success, it is in the area of recoveries, where we take our, like this particular case, whereas there was no sufficient evidence to prosecute them for criminal charges, there was sufficient evidence to get them to refund that money. So there's some disconnect that we find there. So we would like to see a situation where, because the passion sometimes is in the person who has investigated this. It's a good arrangement for separation of responsibilities and more objective prosecution. I guess that's why the law in the Constitution provided that one person investigates and the other one prosecutes. But we have had jurisdictions that are doing the same. Our counterparts in Zambia who are visiting with us just recently, the team there, they take their cases all the way to court. So it is something that we would need to look at. But at the moment, the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the country, provides that the prosecution, the DPP, is the only person who can prosecute, and they have the sole responsibility to decide which case goes forward, which case is withdrawn, and there's no other person who can intervene on that matter. And that is not because of the individual holding the office, but is the provision of the law as it is right now.
Thank you. I think...
As we wait for the amendment of the Constitution, is there anything we can do as far as legislation is concerned, just to assist?
I don't know that we have the capacity to decide what you can do. We have presented the problem. We believe that you are, as honorable members, you have heard our plea and plight. You can make proposals. If you want us to make proposals, we can do that after due consideration. But I would also like to add that we are not complaining just here, but we do discuss and converse with the office of the DPP. Even at the moment, we are in consultation with the same. So we don't have bad blood as such.
No, you don't need to say it. It has been demonstrated.
But we do talk.
So that we can use our time effectively.
So just an example, you're building a good case through the chair.
Okay.
You're building a very good case. If we pick the Makweni case,
which is number?
in terms of the same number 2.
Oh, yes,
in terms of an estimate, how much in terms of public resources was put into this investigation?
And how much was recovered?
Because we want to build these discussions to a level that we can be agents of the public out there.
Okay. Chair, we actually do not have the numbers or as to how much we have put in that particular case. But a local case, like for example, in this one, there must have been some MLA because these people visited Dubai and there was need to confirm whether they actually resided in some of the hotels, whether they boarded some flight. So there must have been some MLA and some international investigation. So in that case, you could be talking of probably in the upward of maybe 500,000 or up to 600,000 thereabout. It's just an estimate I'm giving because in most cases we don't travel. What we do is we do an MLA to our partner institutions in those countries who also just give us the feedback. But in a normal case, you could be talking of about 500,000. There are others like bribery cases where you wouldn't even talk about 100,000, a case costing in the investigation.
Members, can we agree that we test another case?
Chair, before we conclude, I don't want to let this go. On the matter of consultation, and the loss of cases and money incurred by government. Yes, Constitution has tied our hands. You need to do a bit of consultation and see how we can tighten up that loophole so that you don't investigate and end up the case withdrawn without your consultation and without, that complementarity as far as your institutions are concerned.
So, members, if you're in
Can we-
agreement,
number
go on
four.
record, please. Yes,
Let me
Senator.
go on record and make some observations. Chair, my name is Senator Mwenda Gataya, Tharaka-Nithi County. I'm a member of this committee. And Chair, I have captured some levels of frustration from...
Why don't you make the observations in the next case?
No, I want
so
to.
That,
I want to wind up on this one. No, I want to make my observations on this.
Okay.
I think we need some more tangency approach so that we can have a solution to this problem. Because, I've captured the chair talk about the DPP. Although he's saying there's no bad blood between the EAC and the DPP, there are some segments that are not very clear. I think we need some more tangency approach so that we can have this matter addressed fully. Because it seems there's quite a number of bottlenecks that are trying to make sure that we don't have a success story about the fight against corruption.
Okay. Okay. So.
I requested number 4.
Yes. I am imagining that all of us are in concurrence that we look at number 4. Maybe. Okay. CEO, go through number 4. We see what happened.
Okay, thank you. If you look at the inquiry, Chair, it says inquiry into allegations of corruption and procurement irregularities against Honorable Onesmus Mudomi Njuki, the Governor, Tharaka-Nithi County, and government officials in the procurement and award of tender to supply, install, and commission a solid waste incinerator. So, Chair, this one, we also prepared the file, forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecution. He concurred with our...
Sorry, as you proceed, do you have the charge sheet on this one?
No, we don't have the charge
Or somebody in your office can share. We are now digital.
we can share.
Can it be shared with one of our officers so that we look at it in detail?
George?
The charge sheet can be shared. We are now digital, CEO.
No, it will be brought while we are speaking.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Chair, this one, there was overvaluation, or rather, the incinerator was estimated to cost about 28 million, and it was given at about 45 million Kenya shillings. Million. So when we forwarded the file, the DPP concurred with the evidence that was on record, and we forwarded the file. The Honorable Governor, together with the other persons, were charged. Then, as the case progressed, the Director of Public Prosecution applied to withdraw the matter in court, and that was done on 6th of August 2024. As indicated in the other cases, the Commission wasn't consulted in the withdrawal, as much as it's not law, but I had indicated the best thing to do is basically to consult. So, but we will provide the charge sheet as we progress on. Maybe let me hear.
Yeah, so maybe the reason was to review the evidence in the file on request of the first accused person.
Yes.
Has that been that file been taken back to court, or that is the status as of now?
No. That is when he was calling.
Eh?
The case is withdrawn.
So,
let's understand. The law says corruption cases should be finalized within 6 months. That's in the law.
Yes. No. It has not been enacted yet.
It's not been enacted.
Yeah,
now, this matter was at 2021. I just want to understand how my country, Kenya, is. This was a 2021 case. It's Eacc E02 of 2021. Is that the time the case was taken to court?
Yes, that is when.
So between 2021, 2022, 2023, nobody was called to court to testify. 3 years. Then on 6th of August, the case is withdrawn. That's our country, Kenya. Chairman,
And remember,
is that the factual position?
And in addition to what you are saying, since you are the investigator, you should also share with us whether you produce witnesses and evidence, but no one listened to you, or it was deferred. Number two, just to add on, my question will be, after this matter has been withdrawn, have you filed civil proceedings against the accused? As we have said, the recovery process against the governor and the other accused on, because I can see they overcharged by almost 16 million or something like that, 20, how many million? 28, 17 million. They increased from 28 million to 45, that's 17 million, that's a lot of money. So CEO and the chair, has the matter been moved for recovery on the money? And number two, in your course of investigation, it will benefit the people of Tharaka. CEO, I know you are consulting, whether in your investigation, whether this waste incinerator was eventually installed, even after being overpriced. It is important so that Kenyans can get that position.
Chair, you'll allow me, my colleague, to assist in answering that last question, because it's a technical issue which she dealt with. She's the head of what we call the evidence analysis. She's a lawyer who analyzes all the evidence in the files before they're progressed to the Director of Public Prosecution. So she has some facts which she can share.
Okay, just introduce yourself by name for the sake of the answer, then respond.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Regina Morioki. So to answer Honorable Omogeni's question on the time when Honorable Governor Muthoni Njoki was charged, he was initially charged in Nairobi. Then subsequently, there were several applications to either stop his prosecution. So that took some time, because we know it's not a one-day affair for the application to be made and heard. Then when the decision was made that the prosecution should continue, a subsequent application was made to have the case transferred to Embu. So that explains the duration of time from 2021 to the time the case was withdrawn. The incinerator was delivered, but the evidence we got was it was overpriced, almost double. And that's why, and there was a relationship also on conflict of interest between maybe the governor and other officials. So we believe there was good evidence. But when the DPP withdrew the matter, the reasons were that they had been asked to review. So currently, the matter remains withdrawn.
Chair, out of curiosity, who asked them to review?
It was on the request.
The DPP to review?
Most requests, all requests are made by the accused persons.
Or by the accused person?
Yeah, so they make the request, and then the DPP acting on that then decides to withdraw. So as to what the results of the review are, we don't have. So the case remains withdrawn.
Is there any civil proceedings on this matter, CEO?
On the recovery of the money.
We are on the final bit of
17 million
of moving to court to recover, because remember this was just withdrawn in 2024.
Yes.
Now we have to move in now to collect the evidence on civil recovery. So we'll be moving to court soon.
Soon.
Yeah.
Might so that I yield. Might it not take long until the culprits cover their tracks?
No, we have the documents, we have the documentation, we have the evidence with us. It's just a matter of putting together the evidence.
And with the indulgence, when you move to court now that there is a technical person, this is a price of 17 million. When you move to court, do you request that it includes interests and many other things so that it becomes painful?
Yeah, of course, Honorable Cheragai, any suit we file, we have a clause requesting for interest.
Okay.
Yes, but we have the documents to show what the price should have been and what the county got.
Okay.
Because the incinerator had been imported just barely a few months before. We got the price, at what price it was imported at, and at what point it was delivered to the Tharaka Nithi County.
Okay, Chair, you
Chair.
Just a minute. Yes, Senator Dulo.
Chair.
But what do you mean overpricing? Because it is willing buyer, willing seller. What are you comparing to when you come up with the conclusion that there was overpricing?
We do valuations, and of course every procurement within the law, one of the principles is competition and fair price. So we look at the price, just like land being sold. If a county is buying land and maybe the market price is 30 million, then if the land is sold at 70 million, and the valuation by government valuers and other valuers give it that price, then as Eacc we find that there's an overpricing and that the county or the government did not get value for money.
Chair, I just wanted to ask, on the second column you have indicated no witnesses had testified. Is there a possibility of you winning this case because it's your word against mine? Even in the civil matter that you are going to file, are you going to win this case?
Honorable Ruro, thank you for that question. When we compiled our file, we have a list of exhibits and witnesses. Those witnesses in the criminal case would be the same witnesses in the civil case. The indication here that no witness had testified means the case never proceeded to hearing to the time when a witness should have been called to testify. It was cut short before it even began. Thank you.
It's okay, it's now clear, because when you say no witnesses had testified, I can conclude that there are no witnesses. Yeah, thank you.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, just two issues on that matter. And now we're just sampling these cases. One, 21, 22, 23, 24, 4 years, no witness is testified, and it's okay. We understand. You say it's not you to decide when the case begins, full hearing begins. My concern is it would appear, Bishop and your team, that you're not saying it, but it appears like the EACC is entirely at the mercy of the accused persons, the ODPP, and the courts. That for you will just sit back, do your investigations, sit back. You have no way of pushing action against accused persons. I had taken issue when Senator Dulo was referring to the EACC as she did not use that word, ineffective. I mean, I just use that, being ineffective. Charage used a worse word. You said he was being a devil's advocate, meaning I don't know, he was advocating for devils. I don't know what he meant by that. But honestly, Bishop, paint to this committee a picture of EACC in action. Because if after you have done your investigations, all you can do is just sit and wait for things to happen. If they happen, they happen.
And
if they
pray.
don't happen, they don't happen.
And pray, the chairman said in the State House, we need to pray for the country.
And secondly, because this is a matter that we have just sampled, can we use this? Can we get a full file of this case so that we see? Because I guess it is your responsibility to produce witnesses in these cases. Can we just get a full file of this and sample it and see what exactly it is that the EAC is doing? Bishop, you look like that place can be very frustrating. I don't know. Really.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, senators, and thank you, Chair. Like I said, the challenge we have is is in the framework, the legal framework that has been put in place in the fight against corruption. So EACC's role and mandate in a corruption case is to investigate. And once we have investigated and we have evidence, we have witnesses, the next step is to take that matter to the office of the prosecutor, the director of prosecution, so that they then peruse through the file and assure themselves that this is a case that has all that is necessary to be prosecuted. In other words, they agree with our finding. Then they take the case to court. We meet in court to help that process in terms of the witnesses, the evidence, and everything, because we're the ones who have done the investigation. The prosecution responsibility is 100% on the Director of Public Prosecution. If he chooses to withdraw a case, there's nothing really we can do other than pray, like you said, whether pray to the judge or pray to heaven. And sometimes we have prayed to court to say that in this particular case, we do not believe that the application to withdraw is in line with public interest. And that's, I think, where Senator Chairperson was talking about having public disagreements. It is not for the sake of a disagreement, but for where, as people who have investigated a case, we believe that there is enough to take this case to the very end. If the prosecutor decides that that case actually will be withdrawn, neither the court nor EACC can do anything about it, because that is what the law says, and therefore that case will stand withdrawn. So
and you know,
it is not because
that's exactly the issue. That's exactly the issue, Bishop.
Yes.
So you have done your file. You believe that there is evidence sufficient to sustain a conviction. You give it to the DPP.
Right.
Is there a mechanism for the EACC and the ODPP to discuss this file before you move to court?
Yes, and we do in some cases. We do. For example, we can forward a file to the Director of Public Prosecution. They go through it, and they either want more evidence or there are issues that need to be further investigated and so on. So they return the file to us so that we can do further work on it. And then once we are through with that, we retake it back to them so that they can now proceed and take it. So by the time a file is being taken to court, under normal circumstances, there is it's generally agreed both between the prosecutor and the investigator that there's a case to answer. So really, consultation is part of the process, and we do consult. Even as we sit here today, that's why I was saying there's really not bad blood. It is a whole issue of the processes and how it happens, because we do consult even in cases that are ongoing. We continue taking files to the office of the prosecutor, and they have they come back to us and say, here, we don't believe that we have enough evidence. Can you do further investigation? Can you get more documents or whatever it is that they would want? And we actually do that and forward it to them. Sometimes they come to us and say, this particular case doesn't seem to have enough for us to hold a case in court. And when they point out the issues that the reasons why they think it would not hold, and in some cases we have agreed with them that actually what they have said, it may have escaped our attention, but it is right, this particular one, and we close that file as at that stage. Because of the reasons have been raised, and we also see the same. So consultation is part of this process. We are not totally out of touch with each other. We actually do consult.
Senator Getachew.
Quickly, Chair.
Okay, Senator Wambua.
Let me just complete that line. Yes. So, because what then I hear from you, Bishop, is that your engagement with the ODPP is premised on feedback from them. Yeah, it's premised on feedback from them. There is no instance where that consultation happens on the basis of a conviction on your side that we have a prima facie case. So let's push this to court. It's always feedback from ODPP. Is that the understanding?
So, Chair, in many cases, for example, when we forward a file to the DPP and the DPP feels that there is no sufficient evidence and returns the file, we do a different opinion, telling him or her, this maybe probably you didn't consider in your analysis of the evidence. Can you please relook at these issues? Because we are convinced that there is evidence. You are saying there is no evidence, but can you look at A, B, C, D, because there is evidence. But it all boils to the goodwill of the DPP, because if the DPP will ask us to meet, because remember he has the file. You know, if I give you a file and tell you, look at this file, you analyze it, it is you to tell me there is something wrong with this file or it is okay. So because as we give you the product, we wait for feedback. So in short, Chair, Senator Wambua, that comes from the DPP because he's the one who has the product. And in cases where the DPP feels that we need to discuss further, we are willing, and we have always discussed. We have always sat down, in some cases discussed, but it depends on the goodwill of the DPP.
Thank you, Chair. Out of curiosity, Chair, one would be interested to know who is the custodian of witnesses in any particular case. Who is supposed to parade witnesses in any particular case?
Witnesses is the investigator, because the investigator is the one who knows the witnesses. He's the one who has recorded their statements. He's the one who has collected evidence, all the evidence, including witnesses.
So this is a particular case, and the investigator comes around, records the statement from witnesses, then all of a sudden the witnesses decline to go and certify.
Sorry, I didn't get the last one.
No, I'm saying we have an investigator from the Eacc who is supposed to record the statement from witnesses, right?
Yes.
Then along the way, the witnesses decline to go and certify.
The witnesses?
Yes.
They decline to?
To go and testify against the accused.
Yes.
I think that's what I've seen in quite a number of jurisdictions.
No, that is not the situation.
What is the case? Because
I think the case is simply that your witnesses are never called. The case is withdrawn before you even present witnesses. Yes. I think that's what you are telling us.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what is happening. That's what they are telling us. It may shock you, but that's what is happening.
So another concern.
They are not given a chance. What you are telling us, you are never given a chance to present your witnesses. Before you get a chance to prove your case, it's withdrawn.
No, another concern, Chair, is there a designated team, maybe from the EACC? This is the team that's supposed now to make some arrangement with the DPP. Do we have a team that is supposed now to look at the case? Or maybe it's left within the powers of the investigator? Do you have a team from the EACC, a designated team that is supposed to look at the quality of the case?
Yeah, okay, let me just take you through a process. Because it's important to understand the process. When a complaint is made, investigation commences. Statements are recorded, evidence is collected, it is presented to a committee within the investigation, within the investigation unit. Later, it is presented to lawyers who will now read the file, go through the file, come up with charges together with the investigator. It is only after that when the matter is now presented to the commission, now the commission being the supervisory level, for the commission to agree that there is evidence to charge. It's only after the commission, who compose of the commission, the chair and 4 other commissioners, sit through and listen to the presentation, is when that file is forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecution. So we also have lawyers who sit through in court when the matter progresses. So it is a very thorough process, that investigations goes through. Thank you.
Chair,
Yes, Senator Duro.
just to follow up from where Senior has left. He says there's always thorough investigation carried out on these files. But what is appearing in the report they have just presented, if you look at the EACC action, all the cases are withdrawn without consultation. And if we translate that into the monetary term, that the government is losing money, what do we say? Because I still go back to the statement by Cherargei that we rubbished him at the beginning, where we said that there is no bad blood between EACC and DPP. Because if there is proper consultation, even if he has powers, honestly, and this is your case, he doesn't know how much money you have put into investigation. And he just sits there, withdraws the case without consulting you. Does that worry you? Because I'm looking at 17 cases. All the cases are withdrawn without your consultation. Surely. There is a problem in one of the institutions, whether dissolve EACC or we dissolve DPP. I mean, what do we say? Yeah. I'm sorry to say that. I'm just,
that's the truth.
I'm just reacting to what we are presented here. It's not that I have anything against EACC or DPP. We're just looking on how we should help this country.
Yeah, Chair.
Or otherwise, you give us a solution to this problem, because there is a problem, CEO.
Yeah, I agree there is a problem. But
CEO, so that you can answer that same line of what Senator Duro has asked, is that most of these cases are occasion loss of funds. Have you tried to quantify how much funds have been lost as a result of withdrawal of these cases by ODPP without consulting you? Number 2, the assertion by Senior Counsel Lokongo Mogeni that the cases are withdrawn without going to trial, without you being allowed to present witnesses. Is it true for all the cases that they are withdrawn before going for trial?
So, Chair, it is not true that all cases are withdrawn before trial. Some actually are withdrawn when all the witnesses have testified, or even one witness remaining. So it depends on specific cases. Cases here, what we have given you basically are only on counties. If you look at the national government...
Sorry, CEO, to interrupt you. You know, I went through only one case, that number 1. Those were 10 out of 18 witnesses are testified. If you look at case number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? 13. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
So it runs through. You're never given a chance to present your witnesses, at least from what you have told us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm talking of generally.
No, we are concerned with this one because, you know, Malcolm, you have Section 7 of DPP Act. Because we want to push this matter to a level that we can be of assistance to Kenyans. We will need these files with everything, and we have powers. Luckily, you are before Parliament, sitting as a High Court of Kenya. We will also seek to summon the DPP to appear and tell us what motivates him to withdraw these cases. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. What does the section say?
Senior Counsel, and I'm happy you are now in agreement with me. The DPP should have been here. so that they can tell us the reasons as to why they are withdrawing most of these cases, because it is very unfortunate, as Malcolm is looking for Section 7, that it was important, because in case number 14, just to build up on your rationale, the DPP even has gone ahead and said in Republic versus Ali Buno Koran and 4 others, that the DPP indicated that the money has been misappropriated, but DPP had recovered the money. So when DPP recovers the money that had been misappropriated, where is it taken to? If you could look at the case number 14. So DPP is no longer terminating cases, is no longer prosecuting cases. They have now gone to recover. So are you aware that this money of 233,506,000 by officials of the county government of Garissa, that was Republic versus Ali Buno Koran and 4 others, the DPP themselves went and recovered the money? I think we should dissolve all the DPP and EACC and form something else. Maybe it will be of assistance. Malcolm?
Yes. Chair, Section 7 of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions Act reads as follows. Subsection 1, as soon as practicable, at the end of each financial year, the Director shall submit a report to the President and Parliament on the performance and overall fulfillment of the object and purpose of the office under the Constitution, this Act, and any other written law. Subsection 2, at any time the President, the National Assembly, or the Senate may require the Director to submit a report on a particular issue.
Stop there. Yeah.
Chair, the good thing about these cases, these are cases that are concluded. So it would not bar anybody from reading this file, because these are basically concluded matters. You know, if they were live in court or investigations ongoing, there would be some consideration. But when a matter is completely concluded and closed, and the matter is withdrawn from the court,
maybe just so that the conversation is in context, through the indulgence of the chair. For example, case number 14, where DPP recovered the misappropriated funds of over 233 million. Do you have a view of such? You know, this is unique. The others were just withdrawn. So is this money recovered? Is it within the view? I thought you are the ones who are supposed to do civil recovery proceedings.
Well, Chair, we are not in view of this. We are not aware of any recoveries by the DPP. We are not.
But you have indicated, can you have a view, CEO, with your indulgence, can you have a view on case number 14?
Maybe I can allow Regina to explain.
Yes, because it says in EACC action, DPP indicated that the review of the evidence had established that the funds misappropriated had been refunded. This saw Senior Counsel Okongo Mugeni and the former chair of EACC, was it called Kenya Anti-Corruption? No. This is unique. So this, you guys arrested the officials of, I think the then governor and other officials, prepared the file, forwarded to the DPP, saying, no, we will not prosecute them, murudisheni pesa tu, na muende nyumbani. You know, it is so tragic. Waliambia rudisheni milioni 200, don't worry, just go home. And
Regina, you want to say something? Regina?
Chair, maybe before Regina says something on that issue. No, it's a serious matter. It's not a small matter. It's a very serious matter. Because you are the ones who have done investigations. Then ODPP comes and tells you 233 million has been recovered. And that's it. I mean, that's just it. You know, you don't ask to, I mean, that's it. You have your file that tells you that this money has been misappropriated or stolen. You give it to someone to prosecute, they tell you, hii pesa imelipwa. Funga file. And that's it. What's your recourse? What's your recourse? You know I'm saying this, Chair, because we had a similar matter. I think it was in Nyamira, where somebody had paid themselves some 6 million or something. You prepare a file, you want to charge the governor for paying himself.
Point of information.
Yes, you can inform me.
It is the governor, Nyaribo, who overtook the money and decided to return, yani rudisha tu, and you go home.
You see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you pay yourself. Yes, you see lands on you, and you realize, hey, there's a problem here. So you go and have arrangements with the DPP, you return the money, funga file, move on. What are we doing, good people? What are we doing?
Let's give Regina an opportunity. There's something you wanted to say.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to confirm that it's not factual that the DPP recovered this money. This was money given under the Kenya Urban Support Program, which is being given to the counties for infrastructure and all. So the money, once it was sent to Garissa, it was misappropriated instead of being used for the purpose for which,
he's asking,
for which it had been
Ambo is
given.
asking,
Yeah.
so there is no recourse, simply because DPP has said the money was recovered and they withdrew the case. There is no recourse for you to say no.
No, I think
Yeah, they're saying the money is not recovered.
maybe you
No,
allow
let
me
her
to
finish.
finish, Chair. So I think there was a request for review, as I had explained, that sometimes the DPP gets requests to review
By you,
evidence.
by EACC?
No, by the defense counsels or the counsels who've been engaged.
By defense counsel, but
Or
that is
by-
your case.
Yeah, so they make the request directly to him in most of the cases.
So it is your case, it is EACC requesting.
Not EACC, Chair.
The lawyers are asking on your behalf, because it is your case.
They're asking on behalf of their clients who have engaged them.
Okay.
So when a review was sought, I think one of the reasons given was that after the money had been misappropriated and sent to other functions, that there was evidence, they alluded there was evidence that later that money was given back to the
County.
Yeah. So it is on that basis that the DPP said.
So because it's your case, Regina,
Yes.
do you ask to see that evidence? Do you ask to see evidence that this money that I was following has been returned?
I think there is a pending investigation with regard to whether actually that money went back or was used
I
for the
thought you
purpose.
were saying factually that money was not.
It seems he insists make
Why
our
are you
mind.
saying there is an
A
investigation ongoing?
micromanage from some other quarters.
Maybe I'll allow the
Regina, you
CEO
need to be
to.
honest.
Yeah,
Your
I'm being
chairman
honest.
is a bishop.
Yeah,
You need to be honest.
we are being honest, Chair.
Are you aware whether this money was refunded, yes or no?
She's not aware.
If you are not aware, it's not an offense. We are not.
Allow the CEO to respond.
Yes.
Not aware.
Yeah.
Yes. So if this money has been lost. Okay, now you are making it worse, Senator Dulo.
Then I would rather,
Now,
the, bishop, I would rather the bishop
The
respond.
bishop can be the one responding on this 233,506,000 shillings that was allegedly misappropriation. But the DPP said it had been refunded. If you look at the case, court action, you have said under Section 87A of the CPC Criminal Procedure Code, the case had been withdrawn. So where is this money that was meant to develop Garissa is? And that is why I'm asking although I don't know, I will ask the chair, is there an intention of doing civil recovery on these 233? And is there, Chairman, I get conflicted by your statements because at some point you are saying through the chair, you normally engage with DPP. At some point you say there is a disconnect. Now that at some point, let me use the part that you say you engage. Let me leave the part that you don't engage. Have you engaged them on this 233 million belonging to the great people of Garissa, whether it has been refunded?
Thank you. I think our Regina has mentioned that that matter is not conclusive. It's not conclusive. So we are not sure of whether this money was refunded, and if so, how. Because in some of the cases,
So this is your case.
Who is supposed to be sure?
yes,
This
and
is
I
your
think
case. Chairman.
Chair, we have said that whereas we are investigators, we investigate cases, we prepare evidence, we get witnesses, and we get convinced that here is a case that
The
It's
problem,
watertight,
Chair,
okay.
is your officer,
Yes.
whom we had delegated, that's Regina, to answer on your behalf, said with certainty that money has not been refunded.
That's why we
Very
say
emphatically.
yes.
So we are asking, has that money been refunded or not?
And through the
The answer is no.
Bishop, Chairman,
Yes.
we are aware of your role. Our curiosity through the chair on this case number 14 on the Garissa matter is where does it live? Because one of the court action EACC has indicated says that DPP had said money had been recovered. So I'm asking, whenever you engage, because you have said there is no bad blood between you and DPP, have you not, out of curiosity, asked them, where is this money, 233 million? No, not as a bishop, as the chair of EACC. The matter of bishop, we leave it to Senator Wambua and Senator Okongo.
Chair.
I think, Chair, I would request CEO to answer because he has familiarity maybe with the matter.
But you have said he comes from the same county.
Now, let me just give a general answer. Chair, when we received your letter asking us to provide a report on the status of the cases that have been withdrawn by the DPP, we were not prepared to give details. Otherwise, we would have come with files and with all the records so that we can quickly refer and
I think there's a problem.
no, let me just
Chairman, I think there's a problem.
Chairman,
Out of order, completely out of order.
no, let me just let me try and clarify what I was trying to say.
Chair, no.
Okay, I withdraw.
Yes,
That's statement.
yes, that's better.
It is, if the taxpayers, Kenyans, listen to what you are saying,
Yes,
it will not be business as usual.
thank you.
Because
I feel I am
out
guided.
of curiosity, if today I am a chair of EACC, which I don't dream of becoming, is today I have a file on my table, CEO, and I see there is 233 million that is, it must prick my conscience as a good citizen. I must ask myself, what is the status? And Regina should have been running around to tell us where these 233 million belong to the people of Garissa. You have come from Garissa. Are you aware a kilometer from town there is no running water in Garissa town? Then this money should have assisted to fix. So in fact, you should be so mad in courts that you should be worried that money has been spent and there is no water.
Services because of this.
Imagine out of 47 counties, just imagine if each was to lose 233 million. Just like that, 47 of them. Where will this country be? And Chairman, remember, we are asking you about a matter that was withdrawn on 23rd of May, 2023, 2 years ago. And yeah, Chairman, I have to be kind of to you because I used to see there, I know the heat you face. But you see, 2 years, by the time you come here, you should have full facts. And for your information, you don't walk to Parliament without facts, details, files. Because we should actually close the meeting. The time, that statement you made that you didn't carry files, we should just stop there and say, meeting adjourned. Go and come back with the files.
Yeah, as chair,
you know,
CEO,
but
really, yes,
really, it doesn't paint a good picture, Chairman, CEO. And you know, EACC will never get an experienced CEO like you. You have served for, you know, from investigator to the level you are most experienced. I think you're the most experienced CEO that EACC has ever had. So all these cases should be at your fingertips. You know. So since 2023 May,
not that you talk.
It happened. This happened in 2023 May.
I needed a ruling.
2023 May, CEO. Does it mean that there has not been any intervening action from 23rd of May 2023 to date? Those are 2 years.
CEO, so that we have some order.
Thank you, Chair. What I can recall very clearly is when we were investigating this thing and, the matter, and when the DPP was closing the file, what came up is that this money, the money that we are talking about, had been lent to other ministries within the county government. It was meant for urban development, for drainage.
Can I stop you there?
No, let me just finish.
No, can I stop you there? CEO?
Just a minute.
Chair, you cannot allow this to
Let
pass.
him just finish. Let him finish.
Now,
Because then what he's saying, what you're saying points to misappropriation.
Misappropriation.
But what is here is embezzlement. So just continue.
I agree, it is embezzlement. That is not allowed in law, actually, because these monies were specifically meant for urban development, drainage, water, and some market. But after we proposed charges, it was indicated that this money had been lent to other ministries, and it was refunded back now to the specific function that it was meant to do, because according to the explanation that was given at that time, that the county government, other departments didn't have funds. There was only money for this particular fund, which is, of course, World Bank financed. And they used that money to fund other projects within the county government. But you see, that is the way it is. What we are now doing is actually to verify whether we can actually move to court for civil recovery.
What are you recovering, CEO? Just a minute. Senator Ambua,
you see,
just for order.
You see, Chair,
for order. The money had not been embezzled because you indicated it had been embezzled. And as per DPP, he said it has been misappropriated, and so that money was refunded back to the departments. Now, have you gone to investigate again from 23rd May 2023? If not, CEO, what have you been waiting for?
You see, we have two functions here. We've exhausted the criminal investigations after the file was closed. Now we are dealing with the civil recovery.
You cannot recover if money was misappropriated to other votes and returned to the votes. There was no money lost.
Chair, we are not arguing, but what I'm saying,
yes,
you cannot determine issues before an investigation. You know, we are seated here, we cannot make a conclusion before these facts are put together geared towards a recovery. Because if we say you
CEO,
cannot do...
What are you recovering? And yet there was no money lost. What happened? It was misappropriated from one vote to other votes. So there was no money lost, only that it went to other functions. It's called misappropriation.
We know whether no money was lost. We don't know.
So what do you want to recover?
Chair,
Senator Nuno,
two issues.
Yes.
CEO, number one, the action was illegal.
Yeah.
And according to investigation, misappropriation has been done.
Yeah.
DPP told you the money has been refunded.
Yes.
Before the file is closed, you should have actually confirmed the money has been returned to the right department. Once you have established that, the officer, this is by government procedure, the officer who has misappropriated the budget or the money should have been charged. And you are the one actually who should prescribe that as the EACC. So where are we?
Just to add on that, we want to see the charge sheet, because I can see you took the governor to court under EACC number E39 of 2020. Is that right, CEO?
Yes, yes.
So we want to see the charge sheet. What was he charged with? Okay. And the reasons why the case was withdrawn.
Okay.
And you have not indicated whether people had testified. What's the position on this one? That column does not indicate at what stage was it withdrawn. Because the case was for 2020. Does it mean up to 2023 May, nobody had testified in court?
Okay, let me say that. Let's clarify these facts for you at a later stage.
Yes.
Because, you see, we don't have all the facts. As the chair indicated, let's reconfirm some of these things. Because, if we drag on one issue, it may take a lot of time.
Not dragging. We are just doing two issues, and then we go to the 2023. We'll not look at all of them. So,
allow me, please.
Yes, Senator Ambua.
CEO, let's go to that case, 14. Okay.
14. Okay.
Yeah. So, DPP action on May 2023, 8th, the case is withdrawn, right?
Yes.
And the reasons are given there, which is the DPP indicated that review of the evidence had established that the funds misappropriated had been refunded. Are we together up to that point? Let's go to EACC action. What is your action? Just read it for us, your action.
Okay. EACC action, DPP indicated that the review of the evidence had established that the funds misappropriated had been refunded.
That's your action.
That is the comment we have given here.
Is that your action?
Yes, this, we are explaining what happened.
Chair, this is my point. And it feels bad when I have to sit here then and say certain things about EACC, where my bishop is the chair. But because there's work to be done, let us just do what we need to do. Chair, I take the view that we have actually a bigger problem at the EACC than anyone is willing to admit. You have been applauded by a former chair of anti-corruption as being the most experienced person to fight corruption within EACC as the CEO, because you've grown through the ranks. But as CEO, if you can sit there and tell this committee that what you have read to us is the action of the EACC on a matter where 233 million is either lost or misallocated or misappropriated or embezzled or whatever it is that happened to it, then we have a big problem. Because if this happened in 2023 May, as you said, it's more than 2 years down the line. And the action of the EACC is that the DPP indicated that the money has been refunded. No view of any evidence that the money was refunded, and you are saying you are now thinking of instituting a civil case to recover the funds. We have a big problem. Let's just conclude that we have a bigger problem than any one of us is willing to admit. Chair and the CEO of EACC. This is just one county. And you know what happened to the Kenya Urban Support Program 1 and 2. We all know. We can hide, try to hide, but we all know that there was serious misappropriation and theft of those funds. We can say provide evidence or whatever it is that we say, but we all know it. And we know that that program has since collapsed. A program that was supposed to really help us, especially in our journey of devolution. Now, if 233 million just appears like that, and there is no view of what happened to that money and where we can recover that money, that is one county. We have 47 counties. Chair, I have nothing more useful to say.
Senator
just in 30 seconds.
Just before you go,
yes.
We are looking at few cases so that you can bite deep. We had the option of looking at all the cases so that we bite shallowly. But we elected just to look at 2 or 3, then we go very deep. So here, this action, ESC action, is very interesting. DPP indicated that review of the evidence had established that the funds had been refunded. That is not an action. That is just an observation. So we needed to know what EACC had done after it discovered that the funds misappropriated had been refunded. It should have gone back to the county and at least did investigation. The path that we want to follow is CEO of doing investigations with a view of having civil proceedings to recover. There is no money to be recovered here because it was refunded to the votes that were supposed to use this money. Senator Gay.
So that you make a ruling, because I think we have conversed on it much. I think there is a question you ask which the CEO and the chair need to ask. In most of these cases that DPP has withdrawn unilaterally without consultation, how much likely, you had given us approximation, but you didn't give us on the 17th. Finally, you know, Regina, if you are doing evidentiary analysis, you know, money that is such as Kenya Up and Support Program from under the PMF Act is based on special purpose account. You know that. Under the PMF Act, if you have to do a reallocation of money, you do supplementary one in a county assembly, even at the national level. So you should be giving us that when this money was put at special purpose account, then you should give us evidence that under supplementary one, the reallocation was approved by the county assembly of Garissa under the Public Finance and Management Act. And then finally, in this reallocation, the programs, because the law under the PMF Act, you cannot spend the money without approval in the budget. Today, it's not like your money. Even if today the committee of the Senate, we must go through reallocation process, which is under supplementary, either one or two. So in your investigation, as you rule the chair, as you rule, I think, Chair, what I'm requesting, I know you are consulting, what I'm requesting, because we have canvassed, is for you to direct the EACC to give a status report on where this money is. And also, when DPP appears, they should tell us how did they know it was recovered. I thought this has been a good news that they should have shared with EACC by saying, look here, gentlemen, this is 233, this is where we have traced the money, you are the investigators, here is your file, can you follow up on this? So, Chair, can you rule that this matter is kept in view? Let us get in the next 14 days on the status of this 233 million plus. And this is a lot of money that would have changed. And I agree that COOPs 1 and 2, even Nandi, we had similar appropriations where they were doing footpaths, they were doing a market, even the county assembly investigated. These matters were referred to EACC. But that is why there was a bad record in terms of money getting from the World Bank. So, Chair, can you just direct that in the next 14 days, the charge sheet, the process on how the money was recovered, both by the DPP and EACC, be provided to the committee?
I think, members, even if you flog this horse further, nothing much would come out of it. But the truth is, we need to look at our house inward as EACC. We'll have opportunity to invite this DPP to come and hear their part of the story. But the way our letter was worded, it has not given us all the information that we required. Because the information that we required and the Secretariat must capture in our next letter, we wanted to have all the letters, all the cases cited from 2013 to date, whether the files have been withdrawn, whether the cases have been withdrawn or not. And also in terms of tabulation, we wanted to know the cases forwarded to EACC, to EACC from 2013 to date and their status, and when they are forwarded to DPP and the action that DPP took. Have they been taken to court? When were they taken to court? That type of tracing, so that the public can know where the cases are. Because we've been accused as Senate and Parliament that there's nothing much we're doing. But we're telling them, normally we forward our cases to EACC. EACC does not prosecute. It is DPP who prosecutes. So we wanted to know also where the loose link is. The weak link will be established when we finish this inquiry. So for the cases that have been withdrawn, I want to direct as follows, that let us have all the files, the charge sheets and the files that have been closed, and all the evidence, because we want to also have to scrutinize them. We want to scrutinize them, and I think we don't need to go further. And the questions that have not been answered, like for number 4, 17 million was lost in the Rakanidi County. we want to know how it will be recovered. Have you instituted civil proceedings to recover this 17 million? We want to know the action around this 17 million loss, because these are public funds. Members, I think, can take some few minutes. We don't intend to stay further than 2. But no, there is the other part. The part 2 of the cases that we are taken to EACC.
Yes, on 23-24.
For the year ending June 2024.
23-24.
It is
23-24.
Yeah, it is there ending June 2024.
Okay.
It is
Yes,
23-24, yes. So maybe...
Chair, can I request that we do one test on the Nandi County Executive 101?
So, Chair, EACC,
maybe you can pick...
where is the page?
They have not paginated, but number Nandi Executive 101.
Nandi Executive.
It was the last before the esteemed and distinguished signature of Abdi M. Mohammed, MBS, the CEO. Yeah, maybe you can sample that. Yeah, it is on the last part. So the one that we had forwarded for recommendation as the committee.
Yes, CEO, let's look at that.
Let me say the second part, Chair.
Yes.
Remember, these were the committee, or rather the Senate, looked at these matters in March. The report, I'm giving a general view of all of them.
Sorry, let me improve on my direction a bit. Can you give us the cases in 14 days? The files that we requested for. 14 days?
Remember, we don't have the court files. We can only provide our files.
Yes.
Yeah. So
14 days?
14 days is...
With the evidence?
Yeah, so it's good.
It's so directed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chair...
You want to add something?
Sorry, if to help us, where there is an application filed by DPP in court, because you said you have officers holding brief, get us copies of those applications.
Okay.
Okay?
So, yeah.
And because we want to help each other, if you can also get us proceedings. Let's have a set of the proceedings. Like there are cases you have cited, they are dragged because applications are filed. You know, you are looked at being professionals. This is honest, yes. So if you give us facts backed with evidence, you make it easier for us. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that ruling also goes for the tabulation that we asked for. Okay. All the cases from 2013 in all the counties. Whether they're still there in court? Yes.
Chair, I seek indulgence on this matter. That second leg of responses is a lot more current than the previous one. I heard you say that we will not be here past 2. It's not like 20 minutes to 2. I would rather you don't rush this section, Chair. I would rather we have another day to deal with this matter. This is a very, very current issue. Because if we say that we just gloss over this for the next 20 minutes, I don't know what we'll be able to achieve out of it. That's just my concern, Chair.
Yeah. Of similar view that this is weighty. Let's create another day for this process.
Chair, as I had requested just one for Nandi,
then one or two.
One or two, then we defer.
Yes.
And then we pick another day.
Yes, Senator and talk to Nandi, which
101.
Yes.
You can pick 101,
maybe one
and then another one, then we adjourn.
Yeah.
See you. Chair, let me say that these are fresh matters. We picked this from the Auditor General's report in July of this year. And that being 2 months down the line, there is nothing much that have been done on these new cases. The stages where we are the preliminary stages, where we are collecting documents and we are recording statements. So in all these cases that were in the auditor's report, which the Senate approved, I think, sometime in March this year, and were available in the Auditor General's report in July, these are fresh cases in our records, and nothing much has been done. But For the old cases, we have done, there are some cases where we've engaged, there are cases where we've, recommended prosecutions. So in this one, even if we go to 101.
Why don't you go through for the record and then you make those
101?
remarks? Yeah.
Okay.
You make all those observations. So
Nandi County Executive, allegation that Nandi County Executive voided payments totaling to Kenya shillings 343, 381, 962. Okay, 77 purchase orders for Department of Roads and 40 purchase orders for Department of dealing with in the past.
So including so on the issue of 101 through the chair, so preliminary investigations are ongoing.
Yes.
That's your answer. But looking at the one on, you have indicated, let me just pick one. I have seen, Chair, just indulge me, on cases DPP should consent and subsequently withdrew the consent. I think that one we had discussed, Chair. I just wanted to pick one, Chair, on, is it you have not paginated, you have, there is one on Nyamira, where you have...
But even before you go to Nyamira, CEO, when we say preliminary investigations ongoing, what have you done? What is the action that you've done? You've written maybe to counties. What have you done?
Documents.
Yeah, the first thing we do before we commence investigation is to analyze the evidence and what is required. So we come up with a work plan, which basically guides us on how to go about it. In most of these cases, we've done letters to the county governments. In others, we are analyzing the evidence that we have. Remember, we are relying on a report from the Auditor General. The Auditor General's report doesn't give all the evidence that is required to prosecute a criminal case. It basically gives an overview of what they came up with. In some cases, they have not been given documents to verify what they were looking for. And they raise that as a query. So in all these cases, because we picked them in July this year, and we've had them only for 2 months, and we have many other cases that we've been dealing with in the past, there are the preliminary stages where we do letters, and next thing, of course, is to collect evidence and to invite the witnesses for statement recording.
I don't know if to prejudice, my question would prejudice the type of investigations that are ongoing for the sake of voided payments, because this is a big issue in the Senate, and it's a major culprit now.
In the counties, not the Senate. In the counties.
In the counties, yes. But also, we've really escalated it to be a big thing. Do you have an investigator here on these issues? And what type of documents would we be asking for to try and crack this issue of voided payments? Because for voided payments, the county would requisition for money from control of budget. Then when that money is sanctioned, then they pay different suppliers. So what type of documents would we be looking for?
So, Chair, first of all, we'll be seeking the IFMIS records to see, and of course, the allocations made by the COB. And then because it's alleged they got the money but then spent it for other purposes, maybe which were not even planned for. So we will ask for procurement documents. And then we'll also want documents to show us how did they spend the money and where did they spend it. Or did they then divert it and it ended up being embezzled without any services being rendered. So there will be a raft of very many documents to answer to the question, was the voiding intended to divert the monies somewhere else or in ghosts projects or works which never benefited the many counties, because we have several of them. And we noticed it's a big deal So it will be a big investigation. And what will happen is the investigation teams, the first thing we do is get the documents first, as the CEO is explaining, to do a preliminary and just get a feel of where is this going and how far and to what extent might we go. Because we may do some and find there was no voiding. Or maybe at the time the Auditor General...
But was that for good reasons?
Yeah, for good reason. Or we find the allocations maybe were okay. So there may be a raft of several findings in the files depending on the circumstances of each.
Thank you, Regina. Senator Dulo?
Chair, I just wanted to say something on voiding payments. I think EACC, you need to focus in that area, because there is a big problem as far as voiding payment is concerned. And COB has expressed that once she approves the payment on this side, on the other side, she doesn't know how payments are done by IFMIS. So if you look at all the counties, the same thing of voiding is happening, a lot of money. And actually that is as a result of also pending bills, because the intended contractors are not paid. Others are paid outside. So I think maybe you need to focus in that area and see how you can be able to help Kenyans. Secondly, Chair, on the issue of COG and Northern Frontier, I've seen the letter you have written to AG. The law is very clear, because as a Senate we have really advised governors to come up with the legislation on how that payment is effected. It's almost 10 years plus. Counties are paying that money illegally. They don't seem to care. Auditors have raised audit query on the same. I don't know what you are going to do about that, but for us as a Senate, that payment is illegal. It's not even audited. We don't know how it is being utilized. Something needs to be done, because I've seen you have written to AG, but clearly you have lawyers in-house who should be able to tell you this is illegal. No legislation governs that particular payment. Thank you, Chair.
By the way, you made a very important observation on what, and I know, Regina, you should know this, and CEO and Chair. The Public Audit Act, Section 53. You know, this resolution through the Chair, when you table the report, we did adopt after the resolution of House in the March. The Section 53 of the Public Audit Act is very clear that the relevant accounting officer or a state organ, or of a state organ or a public entity shall within 3 months after Parliament has considered and made recommendations on the audit report, A, take the relevant steps to implement the recommendation of Parliament on the report of Auditor General, or B, give explanations in writing to Parliament on why the report has not been acted upon. And of course, subsection 2 provides for the consequences. So, EACC, I don't know when did you receive the resolution of the Senate, because I thought, since you have the parliamentary liaison, through the Chair, when the resolutions have been adopted, it is normally transmitted directly through the clerk of the Senate to the entity, including EACC, DPP, and other stakeholders. So you can see, if you are to assume that you did receive in April or March, you should not be discussing about preliminary investigations. You should be telling us Section 63 of the Public Audit Act demands of all of us. Because I know investigating white-collar crime or white-collar crimes is a bit technical because of the many aspects that it involves. But having preliminary almost 6-7 months down the line does not look very good.
Once, it's us actually who had to go to the website to retrieve the information. We didn't receive that information directly.
From our clerk in the Senate?
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't receive. We only, after receiving the letter, is when now we had to look for a report from the website, the report of the Auditor General. And there was no direct transmission. I think that the procedure right now is
When we make a resolution in the House, what follows? Through the chair.
On this particular one, it was posted on our website.
So there is no
a letter
modality
went.
of transmitting to entities.
Letter went, referring them to the website.
To the website. So when was the letter done? In March?
Letter was done in March.
I mean, then did you receive the letter?
March, I think we have the letters. Let me see.
Because if you look at section 53 to the chair, and you ask a very important question. So you know the reason we are doing this, Chairman and CEO,
11th of July.
is because Kenyans are restless. They really want to know what we are doing. You know, when you go to the village, for us who are politicians, every weekend, you go and tell people asking why the bridge has not fixed. You are being told corruption. Then they're asking you, what are you doing about it? That is why we are struggling to try and join you in the fight against corruption. Because we need anybody who takes public money to be prosecuted as soon as possible, even as soon as yesterday, so that Kenyans can see you are doing something about it. And that is how you'll win back the confidence of the commission. Because if you arrest somebody and prosecute after a thorough investigation, it gives the confidence of the public. That's why all of us, whether you are in EACC, you are in judiciary, you are in parliament, we are being accused that we are spending taxpayers' money through the chair, but they are not seeing value for their money. So did you receive the letter?
The letter that we have.
The timelines.
Yeah, within the timelines of 3 months.
Or even this one is status report. Even this one is status report.
It is status report, but it's beyond the 3 months. Yet the section 53 mandates them to respond back to our recommendations and resolutions. So when he said, not on invitation, we invited them to come.
Yes. Assuming you didn't invite them.
But it is, the law provides that they are the ones to update us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah? I'm asking them
The
now.
way section 6
They are
of the
here.
DPP Act.
Chairman, assuming we didn't write to you, would you have written to us, giving a status report?
Chair, we normally give a report, quarterly reports that we send to Parliament on the status of all the files and cases that we have, those that have been investigated, prosecuted, everything, including the ones that are still undergoing investigation. So that we do as a matter of procedure.
But I thought that is different. Because section 53 of the Public Audit Act is specific on the recommendations and resolution after OAG.
Can you read the section, Malcolm?
Section 53.
As Malcolm goes through that section,
I've already read the section.
You've read the section?
Yes, let me just repeat with your indulgence. Section 53 of the Public Audit Act, implementation of reports by an accounting officer, subsection 1, the relevant accounting officer of a state organ or a public entity, now the Eacc, shall within 3 months after Parliament has considered and made recommendations on the audit report, A, take the relevant steps to implement the recommendations of Parliament on the report of Auditor General, or B, give explanations in writing to Parliament on why the report has not been acted upon.
That's clear, Chairman.
It's clear, Chairman.
Very clear.
And you are working
that,
with
that section should be complied with.
I think, Chair, the letters that we have received are the ones that actually called us to.
But the one on our resolution.
Do we have it? Can we read it? Just read it. Just go through it.
We need to confirm because
George, was it received?
But CEO, you know, that's why we're having this engagement, so that we tie the loose ends. If we have not been able to comply, we can agree on how you will comply going forward. That's the purpose of this engagement.
Chair, we'll check later on when the letter was released.
The previous practice has been that whenever you make a resolution, the report was usually forwarded to us. But you know, now I think we've all gone digital, and when we received these letters is when we went to the website to check the report of the Auditor General. That is when we downloaded and we were able to work on this report, and that was in July. But as Senator Omugeni says, we all need to improve, and I agree. We need to have a better way of coordinating between the two institutions.
Okay. Because we've indicated that in several cases, investigations are ongoing. How much time would you want us to give you so that you can give us another report? Because there are some cases that are quite straightforward. Like if you look at 83, the allegation of irregular procurement of prime mover and 5 large tippers, dump truck, at a cost of 61,300,000 shillings, out of which an amount of 22,550,000 was paid in the year 2023-2024. It is alleged that the equipment was acquired and delivered in the financial year 2022-2023. However, the purchase of the heavy machinery was not included in the annual development plan of the said year. So how long would it take you to do an investigation on this one so that you give us a report? And several others that look quite straightforward and look quite easy.
Chair, let me say that these are not the only matters that we are dealing with at the Commission. There are very many cases that are still ongoing. We'll have to find space to accommodate these other ones, remembering that we have limited resource in terms of the investigators and the lawyers that are to do with it to handle the cases. So we will give it our best, identify those high-profile cases, at least whether it is one case per county, because we will not be able to accommodate 110 cases, 102 cases at a go, while each investigator is already running with 10 or 20 other matters, which are half done. So we will have to accommodate them as much as we can, but for now, we cannot commit ourselves and say, this is when we'll produce the reports.
Chair, CEO and Chair. So, CEO, if Kenyans are listening to you, what do you think they would imagine? Because if you are using that assessment, then in short you are saying it can take the next 2-3 years. Is there a way you segregate cases so that there are cases that, and your lawyers and investigators are here, that is it possible to segregate cases so that the cases that are direct? You know, I agree if there are cases who use MLA and international aspect, it can take long because of catering. But if the cases are open and shut, shouldn't you have a timeline? Because you remember, and luckily I served as the Eacc chair in the last session, there were even proposals when I think when the current Nurdin Haji was DPP, there were even suggestions among Kenyans that issues of corruption we should conclude within 2 years, 24 months. There were even that suggestion. So having that in mind, do you think a feasibility where we can amend the law and say through the chair that corruption cases should and must be concluded within 24 months so that Kenyans get value for? Because I remember in one case, Nandi County, for example, your officers came, and I know you might be aware of this case on the payroll scandal. They carted away documents, they have people who are fired. Up to now, 2 years down the line, no one has been arrested. So when you even go and tell my people in Nandi, you know, EACC walikuja wakafanya uchunguzi, they will ask you, are you mad? Because they have waited for 2 years even for a clerk to be arrested. And that matter, by the way, is open and shut. Because the people who are earning money legally through the payroll were people who are ghost workers, they are known, it is easy to track them. So I'm just giving an example. I don't know the status of the investigation, but I'm just giving an example because the payroll shows XYZ was earning money without working. So I thought that is a very easy case to prosecute because if it was Cherargei, for example, earning for chief officer, yet he was not working, you can invite them for statements and prosecute. So is there a way you can segregate cases? Say that you are telling Kenyans, look, these cases XYZ, we found it that they are open and shut cases, we will prosecute. For these cases, because it has aspect of complexities, we will do this. And that comes to the question. Because I know where you are coming to on the issue of appropriation by Parliament. I know that is a challenge and resources and what have you. But you have regional offices. What is the role of your officers in regional offices like in South Rift, in North Rift, in Garissa, in Coast? What is their role? Are they supposed just to go and arrest then forward all the files to Nairobi, or what do they do? Thank you.
Chair, let me comment on the last,
Yes.
the last case that the Senator talked about. That case is right now being read by the lawyers. That is the last stage. So we expect in the next, maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, that file should progress to the DPP for charging. Now, as to our policy, we have a policy in terms of prioritizing cases, because every 1 year we receive more than 3,000 reports, complaints. Remember, we receive reports from the Senate, we receive reports from the National Assembly, we receive reports direct from the Auditor General, we receive reports from members of the public who walk in. The number of investigators we have are about 200. Now, if you are to deal with 3,000 complaints in 1 year to be handled by 200 investigators, that's a tall order. So we have a policy, and we've come up with a procedure to prioritize our cases. The first thing we look at is the public interest in the case. Like the case you talked about is of high public interest. Now, the next thing that we consider is the value of the money involved. If, for example, you have a case where you have 100 million and another case you have 100 billion shillings, we will prioritize the 1 billion shillings. To the complainant who brought that complaint of 100 million shillings, it looks big and it should be dealt with tomorrow. But that is the reality, because we have to deal with the resources that we have. Number 3 is actually the personalities involved. If, for example, you have a very senior personality, public officer, it takes a precedent over a junior officer, for example, like a clerk. So when we put cases along those measures, there are cases that will not be fast-tracked, other cases will be fast-tracked. So that is why, Chair, you will allow me not to commit to a time frame on this report, but in our next meeting, we will have been able now to indicate, looking at all factors that are available, to indicate when we are likely to forward or to conclude these matters. Thank you, Chair.
Just to donate members, closing remarks to Senior Counsel, Senator Omogeni, you would comment. Then we give the CEO, the Chair, to give your final remarks, and then you close the meeting. We said we would close our meeting at 2. Senator Onyamira.
Yeah, just to thank the team from EACC, Chairman, CEO, and others. This is a useful engagement because as a committee, we want to enhance good governance, proper utilization of resources that go to our counties, and we can never have a better partner than EACC in this endeavor. And as you have heard from Senator here, we all get serious challenges from our respective counties. People want to see how impactful resources that have gone to our counties, how effective have the resources been to the people at the counties. And the people expect those who have embezzled public resources to face sanctions, to face consequences. And the only entity that Kenyans look up to, or even us as a committee, it's EACC. So let's open this chapter of collaboration, working together, ideas on any changes to the law that you think will enhance your capacity of being very effective, because that's what we want and that's what Kenyans want. And the Bishop, I know that's a hot seat, but you are a man of God. Take courage. Even me, I used to be there. I left. I have not died. I'm still living. So, yeah, take it on with courage. Many countries even go after retired presidents. I saw, I think yesterday, I saw somebody in, where is our Natra? Where does he come from? Which country? Was jailed for 1 year. I've seen former president South Korea, so that you send a message that really nobody is a sacred cow. But thank you for coming. Let's have more of these engagements. I'm sure they will be fruitful in enhancing what you do, and what is expected of us to Kenyans who are stakeholders, you and us. Asanteni.
CEO Abdi Mohammed.
Thank you. I think I also want to thank the committee for the invite. We are always willing to support and give the committee any information that they require. We take any criticisms that have come across as in good faith. We don't take anything personal. We are here to serve the public, our Kenyan public. But I just want to make one observation. I think the Senate, being the house that is supposed to look after the county governments, need to come up with proper legislations to deal with issues around the county governments, especially when it comes to good governance. It should not be that we only deal with issues like we are firefighting. In the last presentations that we made here, we made one suggestion. When we looked at the risk analysis that we do within the counties, the risk, the counties, the risk they face, we identified the human resource as the biggest risk. And if you look at the list that we have given on the offenses committed, it basically has to do with offenses that are deliberately committed by the human resource or are committed by human resource that are compelled to do certain things. One of the suggestions which would deal with this thing in the long run would be if the management of the human resource would be delineated or removed from the county governance management. And one of the ways of doing that is to create a central body that deals with all matters HR within the county governments, like establishment of a county public service board that looks at all counties. I know someone will say these are different governments, but if they have one central COG, why can't we think of a way of putting the human resource management in one body? Counties Public Service Board that will be able to recruit, transfer, deploy, promote, train all county government officials. Because, Chair, you will excuse me by saying this, that when we visit the counties, you will find counties affairs being run by people who are not qualified. You will find someone who is not a specialist in procurement or who is not a member of KISIM being in charge of procurement in an institution in a county government. You will find someone who has no background or experience on finances, managing the county finances. What you would expect out of that is a situation where there will be chaos. So, Chair, what I would propose is as you engage us, as you criticize the public bodies that are supposed to deal with governance issues, I think the role of what I would encourage you is to look at the bigger picture. What solutions can we come up with in terms of legislation? And to conclude, the county public service boards are formed under a statute. They are not formed under the Constitution. So the Constitution, I can't remember the article, but basically we'll talk about there being staff of the county governments. But it's the act that actually specifies the constitution of these specific bodies. So, Chair, I conclude by saying we are willing and ready to take criticisms wherever it comes from, but I think the Senate also need to look at the bigger picture so that we don't continue firefighting issues governance. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Very, very good recommendations, like the one of forming an umbrella public service board. In the last parliament, we tried it in the Labour Committee with Senator Sakaja to try and have an umbrella county public service board that can harmonize employment, can be in charge of even transfers. Right now, transferring a doctor from Nairobi to Mombasa is extremely problematic. So I think that is something you can take home. And even having a policy framework for all the employees is quite necessary. So I think, yeah, that's a good take home. Chairman Bishop Oginde. Your closing remarks.
Thank you, Chair. We want to appreciate your invitation to this committee and the interrogation of the issues that we are dealing with. I want to take it very positively because I think there are issues that have come up that would otherwise not have come up in regard to the best way we can deal with issues of corruption. Senator Omogeni raised the issue of how can we be assisted to be more effective in our work. And two things have come up. One is the whole issue of the process and the legal framework. That is something that as senators and as parliament need to look at. How do we strengthen the work of the commission so that we can deliver on the mandate that we have been given within our constitution and within our laws. And Kenyans, as you have said rightly, are looking up to us to be able to deliver this. And we, as a commission, are ready. And I can assure you, senators, that we are very committed to the work of dealing with issues of ethics and anti-corruption in this country. And we do our very best to pursue that. But there are those hurdles that need to be looked at, and we appreciate the fact that you have observed the same and you are willing to do something about it. The second is the issue of resources, and resources, not just money, but also human resource. For example, Senator, unfortunately, has just walked out, and he asked, what are our regional staff doing? You'll find our regions, we have 11 regions, which some of them cover 4 or 5 counties. And there is only one investigator for those 4 or 5 counties. So if a matter comes up within a county and we refer this to our regional team to look into it, you have this one person, and many times the person would have even been known within the region. And so when they are doing investigations, it is very difficult. And that's why they have to keep referring. We have to get them support from the head office. And even the head office, we are overwhelmed by the number of cases. It is unfortunate, but the issue of corruption is really growing in our society. So the cases that we have to deal with that the CEO has just mentioned are overwhelming. So we would like to appeal to Senate and Parliament to just see how can we be resourced so that we have at least 3 or 4 investigators within a region so that they can handle the matters that are within that particular region effectively without having to wait for a very long time. That's why you found the CEO was unwilling to make a commitment with specific dates as to when are we going to get action on these particular files, because we also deal with other at national level, in parastatals, in other institutions, agencies. So that empowerment needs to be looked at so that we have the capacity to be able to trace all these cases that come our way. But otherwise, we just want to assure this committee, Parliament, and of course the general public that the issues of investigating and dealing with matters of corruption are in good hands, and we are committed to do whatever it is that we have been mandated to do to the best of our ability. But those 2 areas need attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for coming, and your team. We want to close the meeting, but I must say that I don't admire your position at all. Because Kenya, corruption is a way of life.